Guys, it's time to take your Native American test for Miss Salmons in Social Studies. I'm going to go through and read each question to you, and then you have a open response, quick little open response here at the end. Hey, remember whenever you're taking this that you can pause me and go at your own speed, okay? Because I'm not going to stop and give time for each of you to answer because I can't see your screens and I don't know how long each of you are taking the test. So just hit the pause button and work at your own pace, and good luck. Make sure you put your name up here at the top. Number one, which choice would be a reason for a nomadic tribe to find another place to live? Is it all the animals, such as rabbits and squirrels, have been hunted to extinction in the area? Is it herds of animals, such as buffalo, have moved on to other trees? Or is it C, both are reasons for a nomadic tribe to move up to another area? Number two, a Native American artifact made of cedar bark would most likely have come from an area A, with adobe clay, B, with cedar trees as a natural resource, or C, in the Arctic ice fields. Number three, what was the primary food source for most Native American cultures? Is it A, meat from hunted prey, B, fish, or C, pizza? Number four, which resource can be used to meet human need for shelter? Is it A, fresh water, B, trees, or C, modes of transportation? Number five, which should be, let me start over. Number five, which would be a natural form of shelter? Is it a cave, igloo, or skyscraper? Number six, which is an example of adapting the environment to meet human needs? Building roads, eating new foods, or learning the habits of species of animals? Number seven, which of the following is an example of adapting to the environment? Importing goods from your homeland, wearing earplugs in a noisy city, or teaching natives to speak your language? Number eight, which was a Native American culture found in what is now Kentucky? Is that Apache, Pomo, or Cherokee? Number nine, which trait was common among most Native American cultures? Tools, gender roles, or food? Gender roles means in all the cultures, no matter what tribe they were, usually the women did the same thing and the men did the same thing. So they were responsible for the same kind of task. Number 10, a group is called nomadic if it lives in an isolated area, moves from place to place, or makes war on its neighbors. Number 11, all the following landforms could have promoted movement of Native Americans to their settlement areas except mountains, rivers, or flat grasslands. Number 12, okay, pay attention, number 12 and 13, okay. 12, the Southwest Native American culture region. So think about the Southwest Native American culture region. Did A, extend from the Atlantic Ocean along the Gulf of Mexico all the way to East Texas. The region was hot and humid, especially in the summer. Part of the region included swamps that were home to animals like deer, alligators, snakes, and plants like the palm trees. The Seminole lived there. Is it B, it extended from the Atlantic Ocean or the Atlantic coast through the Ohio Valley to the Mississippi River? The region had 4 distinct seasons. Streams and rivers crisscrossed the region and wound through the forest of oak, maple, and birch trees. The forests were home to such animals as deer, beavers, and turkeys. The Cherokee lived in this region. Or is it C? It covered states like Arizona and New Mexico. It extended to northern Mexico. There were mesas and canyons and deserts in this region. The climate was hot in the summers and freezing in the winters. The region received little rain, so there were few trees or other plants. The Hopi lived in this region. 13, the Eastern Woodlands Native American cultural region. It extended from the, okay, so all right, so that's 12. 13 is going to be the same answer choices as 12. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll read them again, but they're the same answer choices. So whatever you chose on this one, you won't want to choose on this one. So 13, the Eastern Woodlands Native American Cultural Region. So think about the Eastern Woodlands. Did they extend from the Atlantic Ocean along the Gulf of Mexico all the way to the East Texas? The region was hot and humid, especially in the summer. Part of this region included swamps that were home to animals like deer, alligators, and snakes, and plants like tall palm and cypress trees. Seminole lived here. Is it B, extended from the Atlantic coast through the Ohio Valley to the Mississippi River? The region had 4 distinct seasons. Streams and rivers crisscrossed the region and wound through the forest of oak, maple, and birch trees. The forests were home to such animals as deer, beavers, and turkeys. The Cherokee lived in this region. Or is it C? It covered states like Arizona and New Mexico. It extended to northern Mexico. There were canyons and deserts in this region. The climate was hot in the summers and freezing in the winters. The region received little rain, so there were few trees or other plants. The Hopi lived in this region. Remember, you won't pick the same answer twice here. 14. Thinking about natural resources of an environment, which Native American dwelling would have been used in an area of swamps, snakes, and alligators? Palm leaf chickee built on a platform, B, birch bark wigwam, or C, adobe pueblo apartments? Number 15, an object made and used by people is called an artifact, a culture, or a mesa. 16, which of the following best describes what scientists believe to be the migration route of most Native Americans? Is it by land from Asia across a land bridge to North America following the Big Game? Is it B, by sea across the Pacific Ocean to North and South America? Or is it by sea from Africa across the Atlantic Ocean and into the North and South America? Almost finished. Number 17. Paths that Native Americans took to their new homes in North and South America were referred to as which of the following? Migration routes, environments, or new continents? Number 18. Which of the following is not a natural resource? Forest, deer and rabbits, or an origin story? Number 19. What is another word for adapt? Is it change and adjust, move, or nomadic? And number 20. What region had buffalo, grasslands, and teepees? The Northwest Coast, the Southeast, or the Great Plains? Okay, so that's it for all your multiple choice. And now for your open response. Okay, you are an archaeologist and are looking for Native American artifacts. On part A, that should say 2. Okay, so you're going to identify 2 Native American artifacts that you might dig up. Okay, part B, you're going to explain how each artifact was made by the Native Americans and explain how the Native Americans used the artifact in their culture. So when you're doing this, you need to put part A and you just need to name 2 artifacts. So whatever they are, just list them. Okay, and in part B, you're going to, whatever you selected in part A, you're going to tell me how that artifact was made by the Native Americans. And then you're going to tell me how the Native Americans used that artifact. So at the bare minimum on part B, you should have 4 sentences, because you should have a sentence tell me how it was made, and then a sentence tell me how it was used. And you do that for both artifacts. Okay. Good luck. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will hopefully see you soon.